It's only been about a month since I did my last update on the One Piece live-action Netflix series, and we still have a huge amount of developments to discuss. Honestly, the more time goes by and the more things I see happen during production, the more hope I have for this series. I'm still trying to keep my expectations relatively neutral, despite the constant influx of good news, since you never really know how these things could turn out in the end. However, it's still good to keep an open mind, especially with the new casting announcement that I'm going to talk about first. So for those who don't know, Tomorrow Studios released 6 new characters and their respective actors. The majority of these characters we all assumed we would probably see, with one making a bit of a surprise appearance. That surprise appearance being Garp, played by Vincent Regan. We know that the first season will cover the East Blue, however our only intro to Garp during that saga was his training with Koby and Helmeppo, so I assumed he might make a small appearance in the season. However, it seems he may play a bigger role than originally expected, which makes me super curious on how they are going to rearrange the story and how they are going to handle certain plots. The character I would expect to see on this list would honestly be Smoker rather than Garp, since I think he plays more of a role in the East Blue, but honestly I'm still here for it. I think this Giga Chad looking actor definitely fits the role of Garp visually. There's not much to go off of in terms of personality or previous works tying him to the character of Garp, but as long as he's a good actor, which I think his portfolio shows him to be, like his role in 300 being a good example, then I don't think that we should be worried at all about Vincent. Next up, we have Morgan Davies as Koby and Aiden Scott as Helmeppo. One thing that I love about the casting choices so far is how each choice seems so perfect for their respective roles, Morgan being a great example. The team behind the project isn't just hiring A-list actors for publicity, they are genuinely trying to find the best fits for these characters. In some of their clips, you can get a real sense of how they act, especially in this clip from the end. You can really feel that hyper-reactionary part of Koby. The only changes really that need to be made is the hair color, if they choose to go that route, and then you got yourself Koby. I don't know if they're gonna change his accent or not, but they might try to make it more westernized. Honestly, I don't think I'd mind either way. The same goes for Aiden as well, maybe even more so since we have such a perfect comparison to go off of. The role in the short film Hand Off is basically Helmeppo, just in a different universe. I mean, you don't really need to change anything here. The accent might even serve the role of Helmeppo, making him seem more elitist. Now let's talk about Alvida and Buggy, who again I think are going to be great fits for their roles. Jeff Ward as Buggy especially. I used to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all the time, and his witty slapback responses are exactly what we need to capture that comedic side of Buggy correctly without overdoing the comical aspect from the anime. Now Alvida's actor, Aaliyah Lasorles, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, is very intriguing to me because from her roles in previous works, she's obviously a very confident person, which is perfect, but there isn't much of an evil, menacing reference to pull off of, so I'm putting my hopes out there that she can use that confidence to amplify her animosity. The same thing actually goes for Arlong's actor as well, McKinley Belker III, who I think has a lot of talent for acting, but besides his role in Ozark, there's not much to go off of in terms of how he will approach being the central antagonist of the season. Even so, they are all talented actors who I know will take their roles seriously due to how much passion is going into this project, and I cannot wait to see more cast members revealed in the future. I also think that we could safely say that Neil Breen is definitely not Arlong, and now we know this for certain. Maybe he will play himself for Panda Man, who knows? I'm kidding about that, of course. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out one of my last videos on the One Piece live action for context. I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description. And for our final secret casting that I forgot to mention and I'm adding in last minute is Chow Chow. Yep, that's right, we got a possible first look at the adorable dog from Orange Town, as well as some shots of marine fodder that we will probably see get pummeled by Luffy and Zoro at some point in the show. Regarding the marine outfits, I really like them. I like the more rustic look to them. It makes them feel more real. The only thing that throws me off just a little bit is the caps looking more like baseball caps rather than army caps. It's not a huge thing, and maybe it'll fit more once we see it on screen after production. On some more really positive news, last week the One Piece community was given a live action survey to assess what people's impressions were on the developments happening for the live action, and it turns out that more people have high hopes for this project than I'd previously assumed. Surprisingly, the vast majority of people chose between 6 and 8, which makes me feel even more excited. I personally gave a 7, since my expectations are above average due to how much is going into production. However, I don't want to place it too high yet until we get more information. This percentile could also change vastly from good to bad depending on the trailer when we eventually get it, but that probably won't be for a while. As more time passes, we get more looks at the set and how construction is going for props like ships. We even get a glimpse of Shanks' ship. We even get a look. Oh my god, try saying that 3 times. Shanks's ship. Shanks's ship. We even get a glimpse of Shanks's ship, which looks amazing, and you can tell I had to do that 100 times. And this tells us we should probably expect Luffy's backstory to be in this first season as well. I want to do a full video soon on how I think the first season is gonna play out. We also have some awesome new shots of the Going Merry along with Sanji or Taz Skylar going to cooking school. Not just that though, he's also training at what looks to be a taekwondo or karate dojo, which will definitely be super beneficial for his role. I just wish we could see a little bit more of Mackenyu, since I'm really curious to see what sort of training he has to do to learn the three-sword style. And of course, like always, we have a large gallery of new pictures and clips of each of the main cast members. They all seem to be interacting really well with each other and getting along, and Anaki, Luffy's actor, always seems to light up the room. And I also think he's finally caught up to Wano, as we can see him go into a bookstore and purchase a recent volume of One Piece, which makes me really excited. I wish I knew more of these cast members' thoughts on current developments in the series, since there is so much happening right now in the manga. And I wonder if that will change the way they approach the characters, or how the producers approach the show in general, since this is still an ongoing series with things in the show always subject to change based on other developments. I'm also curious to know if the newly announced actors are familiarizing themselves with the series, and if any of them are already fans prior to their casting. Soon, I think we will get another announcement or some sort of update on production. And this is kind of off topic, but I wonder if we're gonna get an Ace cameo at the end of the season. Something I definitely think they are going to do towards the middle and end, especially when introducing Mihawk, is give the audience a real sense of how big the One Piece world really is, with Dragon, Garp, Smoker, Baroque Work references, Panda Man, Mihawk, Shanks, and maybe even Ace and Blackbeard. There are so many little cameos you could add in to really get that feeling that the One Piece world is a huge world with so much still left to explore in future seasons, if it ends up being successful, which I am hoping it will be. Some more last minute news. I just saw this while typing the script, but the president of African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa, made an appearance on the set of One Piece, which has got to be a super cool experience for those there at the time. Even with all of this awesome news, we still have a ways to go until the release. If you are wondering what that release date actually looks like, you should definitely watch this video right here.